This morning, a 72-year-old man passed away quietly in his home. He wasn't sick and he wasn't in the hospital. He simply started the day with a few habits he thought were harmless. But those small choices had built up over time, silently pushing his health toward the edge. The truth is, mornings carry more weight than we realize, especially after 70. What you do or don't do in those first few minutes can affect your heart, your brain, and even your safety. In this video, we'll walk through 5 common morning mistakes that too many seniors make, often without knowing it. They may seem small, but each one has been linked to increased risk of falls, heart attacks, strokes, or long-term decline. Stay with me until the end, because these aren't just health tips. They're wake-up calls. And changing even one of them might just keep you here, longer and stronger for the people who love you. Let's begin. Mistake 1, skipping hydration immediately after waking up. One of the most dangerous things you can do in the morning, without even realizing it, is forget to drink water. After a full night's rest, your body wakes up in a mild state of dehydration. Your blood is a little thicker. Your organs are working harder to function, and your heart has to pump through all of that without support. Especially after 70, when your kidneys and cardiovascular system are no longer as forgiving, this one habit can quietly raise your risk for stroke, heart attack, or even sudden dizziness that leads to a fall. Think about someone like Carl, 75, who always made his way to the coffee pot before anything else. He'd pour a strong cup, take it to the living room, and sit quietly before starting the rest of his day. But one morning he stood up too fast and collapsed. At first, his family thought it was the coffee. Later, his doctor told him the problem wasn't the caffeine. It was the fact that he hadn't had a drop of water since the night before. His blood pressure had dipped, his blood had thickened, and his heart was working harder than it should have. That morning, his body simply couldn't compensate anymore. Drinking a glass of water within 10 to 15 minutes of waking up helps restore fluid balance, kickstart your metabolism, and protect your heart. It doesn't have to be fancy, just plain water at room temperature. And if you're someone who takes medication first thing in the morning, that water also helps it absorb properly and reduces strain on your stomach and kidneys. It's one of the simplest habits to build, but also one of the most life-protecting. So if you're waking up and skipping water, or if coffee or juice is the only thing touching your lips before noon, it's time to rethink that pattern. Because every cell in your body, especially your heart and brain, depends on hydration to function. And what you do in the first 5 minutes of your morning could quietly shape how many more mornings you get to have. Mistake 2, getting out of bed too quickly. There's something many people do without thinking, especially in the morning, that quietly increases their risk of serious injury. It's the simple act of rising from bed too fast. After lying still for hours, your blood pressure naturally dips. Your circulation slows. And the moment you swing your legs over the edge of the bed and stand up too quickly, your body can't always adjust in time. That rush of dizziness, that momentary blackout, that feeling of unsteadiness, it's not just aging, it's your body struggling to stabilize. And for many older adults, this one habit is what leads to a fall that changes everything. Let's talk about Raymond, 78. Every morning he'd open his eyes, sit up, and stand within seconds. For years it worked. But one day he stood up too fast, lost his balance, and hit his head on the corner of a dresser. He spent 2 nights in the hospital, not because he was sick, but because his body didn't have time to adjust. The diagnosis wasn't complicated orthostatic hypotension. His blood pressure had dropped as he stood, and his body just couldn't keep up. And yet it was entirely preventable. After 70, your body needs a few extra seconds to recalibrate. Taking a minute to sit up slowly, stretch and dangle your legs over the edge of the bed helps your blood circulate. Placing your hands on your thighs and breathing deeply before standing can give your heart and brain the time they need to catch up. This isn't weakness, it's wisdom. And it can be the difference between a calm morning and a 911 call. So if you've ever felt lightheaded when standing, or if you've brushed it off as just being tired, it's time to listen more carefully. Because your body is trying to warn you. And when you honor those warnings with a little patience, you buy yourself more strength, more stability, and more days of independence. That first move of your morning doesn't have to be risky. It can be slow, intentional, and steady. And that choice made each day might just be the one that keeps you standing tall for many more years to come. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Mistake 3, ignoring early signs of chest discomfort or shortness of breath. There's something deeply human about brushing off discomfort, especially first thing in the morning. You wake up with a little tightness in your chest, or you feel slightly winded. Just walking to the kitchen and you tell yourself, it's probably nothing. But for people over 70, those small morning signals are often not just tiredness or age, they're early warnings. And the quiet hours right after waking up are when your heart is under the most stress. Your blood is thicker, your blood pressure begins to rise, and your body is adjusting from rest to movement. That's why heart attacks, strokes, and breathing crises tend to happen more often in the early morning than at any other time of day. Think of someone like Glenn, 72, who woke up one day with mild discomfort in his chest. Not pain, just a strange pressure. He made some toast, drank a cup of tea, and figured it would pass. But within an hour, that pressure turned into shortness of breath. By the time help arrived, he was already slipping into cardiac arrest. Glenn survived, but barely. And when doctors reviewed his case, they said what so many others have heard too late. If only you'd called an hour earlier. After 70, you have to think differently. Your body still works, but it signals in whispers. That odd feeling in your chest, the unusual fatigue, the slight shortness of breath, those aren't nuisances to ignore. They're early warnings, and when you respond to them with attention, you give your body a chance to recover before things spiral. Morning symptoms in particular are not something to wait out, because in many cases, time lost is life lost. So if you ever wake up and feel a heaviness in your chest, pressure across your shoulders or arms, or unusual breathlessness, just moving around your house, don't chalk it up to sleep or stress. Take it seriously. Breathe slowly. And if it doesn't pass quickly, call someone. Because listening to your body isn't overreacting, it's survival. And what may feel like a small, forgettable moment might actually be your chance to save your own life. Mistake 4, taking medications on an empty stomach without checking. Many older adults begin their mornings with a familiar routine: reach for the pill box, take a few medications, and then carry on with the day. But one of the most common and risky mistakes after 70 is taking certain medications on an empty stomach. Not all pills are meant to be absorbed without food. Some can irritate your stomach lining. Others can cause a sudden drop or spike in blood pressure. And a few simply don't work as well without the presence of food to help them absorb. The danger isn't in the medication itself. It's in the timing and how your body receives it. Let's consider Alice, 74, who had been taking her blood pressure medication each morning as instructed. But she often skipped breakfast or delayed eating until late morning. Over time, she began experiencing dizzy spells around 8 or 9 a.m. one day. She lost her balance in the bathroom and hit her shoulder against the sink. After a hospital visit, the doctors asked when she last ate before taking her medication. That was the turning point. The combination of an empty stomach and her medicine was lowering her pressure too much, too quickly. The problem is, this scenario isn't rare. Many medications, especially those for blood pressure, cholesterol, thyroid function, or pain, react differently depending on what's in your stomach. And even if you've been taking them the same way for years, your body's ability to process them can change as you age. What used to be fine at 60 may no longer work at 75. This is why reading the instructions, asking your pharmacist, or reviewing your medication plan with your doctor is essential. Not just once, but regularly. Having a small piece of toast, a banana, or even a few crackers before you take your pills can make a significant difference. And if your medications truly need to be taken on an empty stomach, then it's even more important to sit still, avoid rushing into activities, and be aware of how your body feels in the following minutes. Because managing your health isn't just about what you take, it's about how you take it. And respecting that balance might protect you from falls, injuries, or complications you never saw coming. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Mistake 5, skipping a proper breakfast or relying only on caffeine. The final mistake many older adults make, sometimes with the best of intentions, is starting the day with nothing more than a cup of coffee. Or worse, skipping breakfast entirely. It may feel like a minor decision, especially if you don't feel hungry in the morning. But after 70, the stakes change. Your body is more sensitive to dips in blood sugar. Your muscles depend on steady fuel to maintain strength. And your brain needs proper nutrition to stay clear, calm, and alert. When you deny your system that first energy boost, the impact shows up faster than you might expect. Dizziness, weakness, irritability, even confusion. Let's think of someone like Ruth, 76, who loved her quiet mornings. She would sip coffee in silence for an hour, maybe nibble on a cookie later, but rarely made a full breakfast. Over time, she started feeling more fatigued during her morning walks. She stumbled once on a sidewalk crack, brushed it off, and told herself she was just getting older. But at her next checkup, her doctor found signs of muscle loss, low vitamin levels, and early signs of blood sugar imbalance. None of it was caused by illness. It was the slow, silent cost of skipping nutrition each morning. Caffeine alone can give the illusion of energy. It wakes you up, lifts your mood, makes you feel sharp. But without real calories, that boost is short-lived. It can mask fatigue, increase anxiety, and lead to a crash that affects your balance and focus. And if you're taking medication in the morning, as many people do, skipping food can make side effects worse. Your stomach might feel unsettled, or your blood pressure might drop more than it should. Eating a proper breakfast doesn't mean a full diner meal. It can be something small and manageable, a boiled egg, a slice of whole grain toast, some yogurt with fruit. What matters is that your body receives protein, fiber, and a little fat to help sustain you through the morning. When your brain and muscles are fueled, you move better, think better, and reduce the risk of falls or cognitive lapses that could lead to harm. So if your routine right now is coffee and nothing more, it's time to reconsider. Not because you've done something wrong, but because your body is different now. It needs steady care to keep giving you steady strength. That first meal of the day doesn't just fill your stomach. It tells your body, I'm here, I'm paying attention, and I want to be well for many mornings to come. Final thoughts. By now, you've seen how easy it is for small morning habits to carry big consequences. After 70, your body is still capable, but it's also more sensitive. And what happens in those first minutes of your day often sets the tone for everything that follows. Skipping water, rushing out of bed, ignoring discomfort, taking pills without food, or skipping breakfast altogether, none of these things feel dangerous in the moment. But over time, they can quietly erode your health, drain your energy, or increase your risk of falls, heart strain, or sudden illness. The good news, every one of these mistakes is preventable. And the best part? It doesn't take dramatic change, just small, mindful shifts in how you treat your body at the beginning of the day. What's powerful is that these aren't just rules, they're acts of self-respect. When you pause to drink water, you're telling your heart, I want to support you. When you rise slowly, you're telling your brain, I'm not going to rush you. When you listen to chest pressure or a strange breath, you're telling your life, I'm paying attention. And when you eat something nourishing, you're saying, I still want to be here. For me, for the people I love, for all the mornings still ahead. So take a moment to think, which of these 5 mistakes have crept into your routine? Which one could you change starting tomorrow? You don't have to fix everything overnight. You just have to begin with care. Because mornings matter. They speak for your body, they set your pace, and sometimes they speak for how long you'll be here to enjoy what comes next. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.